evening, everybody, and welcome to this latest edition of the Odyssey Hour. I got it right because I've been known to accidentally put in the Odyssey files a couple times. So, welcome. We are obviously the Odyssey Paranormal Society team. I was going to say Sam, who apparently just disappeared for a moment there.
No, I'm still here. My webcam is being dumb.
Yeah, because right now you're frozen. So we'll just stare at
That'll
you.
just be my thumbnail for
that'll work.
I think my webcam is not cooperating right now.
I understand. That's okay because we can see your smirking face and hear
in my
all
very messy room
and all of your words. So that's what's important.
My camera was not unplugged.
Anyway, so welcome. I just want to take a few minutes to anybody who watches this either live or on a replay that was at the Leduc Mansion for our presentation on Sunday night. I want to thank everybody for doing that. I know that I continually said that everything was free and you just need to register, and I was way wrong about that. Did not know it. But it was an amazing crowd. And the good part about that for everybody is that we have been asked to do it again and again and again and again. As long as you guys continually want to go back to Leduc to talk about the paranormal, to hear any evidence, there has been talk of potentially a small investigation event with us there. So obviously that most of that is going to be all next year, but just a month and a half now till that happens.
Why'd you say that?
Damn, that's crazy.
I never did that math in my head, and now you just did it for me, and I'm like, oh shit.
We are about 7 weeks away from the new year.
Stop it.
Merry Christmas, everybody. In fact, I think next week I'll change my background to be like a Christmas theme. Like
oh Lord,
twinkling lights and stuff like that. It's gonna be amazing.
I mean, if I'm being honest, I'm ready for 2022 to be over, actually. So,
me too. But we said that in 2021. So let's
here's to 2023.
It's gonna be our year.
Yeah,
it's gonna be our year. I'm telling you.
In about January 17th or something like that, we'll be like, bring on 2024.
Next time.
This year could suck it. But anyway, it will be it'll be fun to be able to get back to the Leduc a lot. And I think one of the things we're going to try to do, should the supporters of the team and everything want it, is we'll try to do more presentations just in general. Not just at the Leduc, but yeah. And I'm learning the good and the bad that go with it. Don't do it on a Thursday night. That's bad. Don't do it in downtown St. Paul. That's also bad. So learning where it can and cannot do these things and when. So
but apparently on Halloween or the day before Halloween in a supposedly haunted a definitely haunted mansion was a good idea because there was a lot of people there. There's a lot of people.
Yes.
Not only that, but we learned when we got there that there was actually a waiting list. So people wanted to be called in case people canceled.
And people were really engaged and asking questions, and it was a really, I felt really inspired, honestly. I was like, God damn, people are interested in what we're doing. That feels really nice.
Yes. And so I just personally want to say thank you to everybody, whether you were there or not, for your continued support and just honored that you want to be there and you want to watch the show and see what hijinks we're getting up to and the topics that we're talking about, which we will get into now. So I posed this topic to everybody, and since nobody had anything better to do, they went with me. But I wanted to talk about kind of the what we think separately, and then discuss it as a group. And anybody who's watching can do it as well, or can join us in the chat and whatnot. The good and the bad of the paranormal, what we like about it, and what can suck eggs, so to speak. So I'm split on which side I want, because I figured we could start with the bad and then finish with the good to be more uplifting, but we may get so into the bad we might not get to the good. And so, do we want to start with the good just to make sure we get that in?
Let's start with the good, and then we'll go to the bad. And how do we want to do it? Do we want to do one at a time, go around the horn, or just one person shares their 3 bullet points?
Well, we don't necessarily need to share all 3 bullet points. This is just because I'm thinking that a lot of our good and bad are going to be the same or roughly the same.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, let's just start with one, and we'll continue on to there. So if anybody has kind of one on their list that they would like to share first, have at it.
Cool.
Well, I'll go ahead then.
Thank you, Haley.
Yes, you're welcome. One thing that I really like is getting to spend some extensive time in historical locations that I otherwise would not be able to. I think that's one of my favorite things about what we do.
That is also on my list.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, that's a good point.
That would be on a lot of lists.
One of the things that I like to tell people, especially when we're interviewing and people who are interested in this, is they don't understand the fact that that's what we get to do. We get to have these amazing historic locations and just locations in general to ourselves. How many people can say that, they had the William A. Irvin ship to themselves for an entire night? For free. I mean, that we were allowed in. I mean, the Grant House, the Leduc Mansion. I mean, all of these places, which are still, I don't want to say in use, but I mean, they're still as kept up as humanly possible, are open to us, and we get them to ourselves. We get to see shit and experience things that nobody else gets the opportunity to do. And I think that that's lost on a lot of people because they're like, why aren't you scared? No. I mean, some people...
I'm literally not scared of the dark anymore. After doing this for 3 years, I can stand in a dark room in an unfamiliar place because I do it all the time. I do it
you
for fun.
You were scared before?
Now. Yeah, I was. Before I joined the team, I was scared of the dark a little bit. And now I'm not at all. Except when I'm outside. I don't like being in the dark when it's outside.
There's lots of creatures out there.
Yeah, there's things that can kill you. But yeah, I honestly, one of the coolest experiences that I remember is when we were in Dubuque and we went to the Five Flags Theater and we got to go up into the section that's closed off now. It used to be the segregated section of the theater. And it's just way up in the bowels of the theater, and you get to have a really cool view of the stage. And not many people get to do that, I don't think. So that was really cool.
Why do you say it's closed off? I didn't think that they closed that off.
I mean, you have to go, it did not look like it was open to the public up there, at least when we were there. Because there were exposed lights and stuff, and it was bench seating. That I don't think they let people up there.
That's true. Okay, that's fair. I thought maybe they had closed it off, period, for like even investigators and stuff like that. But
Oh, no. I just don't. They don't sell tickets for that section, is what I'm saying.
I would hope not.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. But not only that, but you get to see, the basement and the dressing rooms.
Yeah.
You get to, we had the promenade, which is usually, ripped with people and stuff, completely empty, just you. I just, you get to just experience things that, boy, somebody is just like tearing up the room. Is that you, Sam?
Nope.
Oh, must be Haley.
Is it me?
I think so. That's all right. No biggie. But I agree with you. It wasn't on my list, but is definitely a plus for investigators in general, that you get the opportunity to explore and go places that nobody else gets to. Let's just use the Duke. Like, sometimes they don't even let investigators into the attic or the basement, and we get to. But I mean, it's great. Scott, how about you? You're the only one that hasn't chimed in on this.
Well, I didn't have anything to add.
Oh,
Everybody was saying.
well, okay then.
Yeah.
We can finally hear you, and now you don't have anything to say. I think.
What the hell?
Did somebody just get buzzed by a plane?
What was that?
Is it still me?
We're haunted.
No, I don't think so. It would have been coming through my mic too.
Well, my house is haunted, so maybe someone tried to chime in.
Oh, that actually reminds me today. Not to get off topic, but I think I had a paranormal experience today while doing my job.
Nice.
I go in a lot of old houses because I work so basically I do pet sitting and dog walking, and a lot of people own a lot like old houses in Minneapolis and St. Paul. It's like no secret. And it was a particularly old one that I went in today, and there was nobody home because when you do pet sitting, people are traveling, so there's nobody in the house. And I'm pretty sure I heard like a voice in the house that was like loud and clear. And I was like, huh, is there anyone here? And there was no one there. So that was an experience.
If you ever have to go back there, like continually or whatnot, you want to borrow a recorder, let me know.
Ooh, that actually would be kind of cool.
Yes, Cameron.
Okay, so our Starbucks is very, very haunted. All of us baristas are joking about it. Could I borrow a recorder?
No, because you need to invite us all in to investigate it in general.
Well, I can ask.
As you should. So, because there is actually a small, I brought this up to you guys previously when I was still in Chanhassen, is the building that the Chanhassen Dinner Theater is in. Like, I delivered to all kinds of customers, and they all, I should say they all, because I didn't have all, but most of the stores in there that I talked to that knew what I did are all like, yeah, this place is haunted. I saw this, or we experienced that. And sometimes, I mean, sometimes it's not necessarily just because it's a Starbucks or anything bad happened there, but it's the land that it's on. It's what it was previously. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, the fact that it's a Starbucks now means nothing. So, talk to your boss.
I do know a little bit about the history of this area. It was a potato farm that caught on fire. So, who knows?
Some people just had to have a whole bunch of baked potatoes.
I guess.
That was very funny, Mike. That was very funny.
Thank you, Sam. I'm glad to see that my money has really, really paid dividends.
Mike's paying me to laugh at his jokes.
No, I paid you and then said as compensate or as a thank you, you had to laugh at my jokes.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And you've done terrible.
Let's do the topic of the show now.
All right. Anyway, does anybody want to throw out another one?
I could throw out probably the main one. Cameron, you want to go though? You raised your hand. I didn't raise my hand.
Okay, so one of the things that I've really learned to love working in the paranormal field is how many unique people you meet. Everyone's so
Yeah.
expressive in a different way.
Mhm.
And it's really cool to learn about so many other varieties in the paranormal field in general, like at Paraunity. People were, they had Reiki booths. If you don't know what Reiki is, it's like a form of spiritual healing and cord cutting, and it's very interesting things to learn. So
Yeah.
it's one of my favorite things.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
that's a good
definitely
one.
had that. I definitely had that on my list as well, because you naturally meet a lot of people doing this, whether they're clients or just people who are the caretakers or managers of the buildings that you're going in, and you get to hear a lot of perspectives and meet people that you also don't want to meet again. But at least those turn into stories that you can tell other people. So yeah, meeting people in the paranormal is a very cool experience, I think.
I'm going to follow that up with one of my own that are on my list, which is right about that same thing, and that is that anyone, regardless of education, job, background, whatever, can come into this field and make a difference, and they can do this job, and they can do amazing work, and nobody really needs to look down on anyone. I mean, we all grow up thinking, do I need to become a doctor and cure cancer in order to make a difference in anyone's life? Do I need to do that? And you can come into this field being, a chemist that likes to review cheese curds, or you can be or you can be, you can be a dog walker and sitter who's also a musician. You can be a retired, drug and alcohol counselor and a minister and have so many flipping degrees you think you're lying about it. You can be a project manager with sometimes a creepy obsession with Disney, who crochet, who owns a crochet Etsy store. You can, or a delivery driver or a barista. You can do all of this stuff that's considered, I guess, by top tiers as the run of the mill or the ordinary person, and you can come into this and make a difference, and you can be exceptional at what you do, and nobody can take that away from you. Nobody can stop you from doing it. Are there people out there, obviously, who don't know what they're doing and are terrible at it? Yes. But I think that one of the greatest things about this is the fact that if you have the right mentality, you have the right goals, the compassion, the caring for people, you can make your mark on whatever you want, on history, on the community, whatever. And you can meet people who would never really ever meet. You could pass each other in the street and maybe you look and that's it. And not only can you come together in this field, wow, that was loud.
Is everyone else getting that too?
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Sorry, Haley. It's obviously you. But you can not only can you come together for this one goal, but you can become more than a team. You can become more than friends. You can become a family and bring that closeness and that togetherness out to residences, out to your cases, and really do as I've said probably 17 times already in this rant, great work and important work to help people who have nowhere else to turn. I mean, if somebody's being haunted or somebody's being attacked or whatever, they can't go to, a brain surgeon or whatever and get help for it. I mean, unless there's obviously something wrong with their brain, but that's an extreme situation. And I think that's wonderful. So I really enjoy that about this field and honestly about this team.
Aww.
So yeah, that was one of mine. Scott or Sam, did you want to throw one out, or
Scott, you do one, and then I'll do. If it's not mine, then I'll do the next one.
Well, I forgot about Lauren. Lauren said she had one, but Scott, go ahead.
Okay. Something that I really like about this field is that we can actually get called in and go to someone's home and really do something to help people who need the help. Who are freaking out over their experiences and don't know what to do and have nobody to turn to, and we can be the person that they can turn to and provide them the help they need. And we can tell them that there's nothing going on. There's you're misinterpreting things, or we can tell them, yeah, there's something going on, and we'll help you get rid of it if you want. So I like being able to go out and help, and actually help somebody who needs to be helped.
Yeah, that was what I was going to say. It's like my main goal for getting into this field was so I could explore my curiosity, but more importantly, help people. And I think one of the cool things is, while you can also help living people, you can also help the people that have passed on in the situation as well. So it kind of goes both ways. So yeah, I really agree with what Scott said. I think that's really important. And that's definitely my main go-to reason for staying here is just, I love helping people, and I love being one place that they can turn to if they are having an experience that they can't explain.
All right, Sam, you're up.
Okay. I honestly just wrote down that I like the mystery of it. Like, I like that we work in a field where there are not clear-cut, concrete answers. And obviously, we're striving towards getting more concrete evidence and more concrete answers, but whether that be on like a case-by-case basis where you're working with a client and you're trying to figure out the mystery as to what is going on in their house, or just the mystery of the paranormal in general, like, why spirits can manipulate things in our world. Why do we catch EVPs? Just things like that. Every day is a new mystery to solve in the paranormal, and that's really exciting and really engaging. It's always new.
I kind of have a follow-up to that. I had wrote down that I think it's really amazing that we have so much technology, like scientifically put together technology to catch things like EVPs and anomalies with cameras. And I think it really starts to open up people's minds about, what could really be out there. And I think that aspect is really, really cool.
Yeah, I actually had that pretty much written down on mine as well as number one. The first thing that I wrote down was that there's so much more to learn. Like, this is not a closed field. It's not like psychology, or it's not like chemistry or something like that, where like the periodic table of elements is there and that's what you have to work with. That sort of thing. It's not. I'm sure I got that wrong, Haley, but still.
We get what you're trying to say.
Yeah. I was saying, too bad you're muted and can't respond. But there is, and that goes right along with, that anybody can make a difference. Anybody come in and find something else new and think of a new way of doing experiments, or think of a new way of using this piece of equipment that has nothing to do with the paranormal period, but can bring that in. I mean, let's look at the FLIR. The FLIR is like the epitome of like the greatest paranormal equipment, that you can get, but it's not made for that. It's made to help out contractors and construction workers and stuff like that. There's so much out there that wasn't made for the paranormal that somebody at some point in time decided to use in order to better, understand the paranormal and put that forward, or put the field forward. And we do that too. Like, we are constantly thinking of what's a new way that we can ask questions, or can we use these walkie-talkies and like not even be in the building and put the walkies in there? Maybe they'll be more eager to do that. I posed this question on at the Leduc, which I never even thought of before, and that was, does the frequency of our voices mean something? Can spirits hear me but not Haley, or Haley but not me? And why do they answer Lauren, or why do they give their names to Cameron but not me, or not Scott, or whatever? I mean, it's that those are questions that even we can answer. We just have to figure out how to do it. And I love the fact that that's out there. That's out there to learn. That's out there to discover. And it's anybody's game. And nobody has anything to add. Okay.
Nope.
Well said.
Quit being so freaking concise.
Mm-hmm.
All right, fine. I'll be vague from now on. I just like the fact that we can go out and do shit. Does anybody have anything? Does anything have anybody?
I like the fact that we have a teddy bear as equipment
And a cat ball.
and a cat ball,
which we never use. We never use anymore because it's in a case we never use anymore. I haven't seen that cat ball in like 5-6 investigations.
I don't think that's true.
I honestly don't even know if it's in that case anymore.
Probably not.
The teddy bear.
Does anybody else have any points that we haven't discussed yet?
Mine were all discussed.
Yeah.
We've covered all mine. Wow. We had a lot of overlap.
Go. And we're right at the half-hour part.
Hell yeah.
We did that perfectly.
Wow.
Go.
It's been how many episodes, and we're just now figuring out how to organize a show.
Nonsense. This is a fluke. We'll be back to chaos next week, guaranteed.
Uh-huh. Okay,
All
I
right.
guess we'll talk about things we dislike now.
All right. Well, rants are coming. I like it. I'm excited. Who wants to go first?
I'll go.
All right.
So as much as I love the community this has brought me, and especially you guys, I also really dislike the community. Namely, but one of the things I wrote down is dealing with people who will just believe anything. And who are so
I have that
believe
exact
anything.
point written down. People believing everything they see.
Yeah. It's really tough because it puts us in situations where someone will show us evidence and I'm just like, no, I just want to take them and shake them and be like, no. But I can't because that would not be appropriate. And I don't want to be mean, but it puts us in a lot of weird situations sometimes where someone's showing you something and you're like, that is dust. Or, or I do not see what you are talking about. And I think maybe you should go get a psych evaluation. It's just like that's something that's really tough to deal with at times. It's very like frustrating to know how to like tiptoe on it carefully, but then also be like, you want to not spread misinformation or spread the idea that a piece of dust could be an orb. It's very frustrating at times.
I have a follow-up to that. I have written down that I dislike how so many people fake evidence and post it, claiming it to be real without any anything to support it, because it brings horrible feedback to the community, because they see one thing fake that's proven to be fake, well, all of it's fake. Then it's like the negativity is stronger than the positivity of it. So that's a problem on my end with the community.
One of the things that I did write down was the bad stigma that TV brings us, and and that follows right along with the not only faked evidence but glorified misidentification of evidence. I mean, the people who are throwing out these dust videos as orbs, they're not trying to fake evidence. They truly believe that what they are putting out there is really, the real thing. And I guess I can't particularly blame them. Well, I can blame them because I just don't know, but I can't get mad at them for it, because they're trying to do, what they believe in. It's misidentified, but it's that all of the shows are, and as well, I've ranted about it constantly. All the shows are, evil cells, people being scared, people being terrified, cells. That's the story that constantly is trying to be done. Cameron and Scott know this all too well, that, we had a while ago, even before, 4 years now, something like that, we had the opportunity to do a show, signed a non-disclosure, full year development deal, but it all fell apart because they wanted us to provoke. They wanted us to send videos and do this online of us yelling and screaming, and it's like, we don't do that. And I just have the feeling that they're only going to put shows on that do. You get it at Ghost Adventures. I think the only show out there that doesn't have some sort of yelling or screaming or whatever is Ghost Hunters, and that's just because they're like the original. I mean, they have control over everything.
Basically, their brand.
Yeah,
like they turn it into their brand. Is that they're the nice paranormal investigators.
They're the professionals. Everybody else yells and screams. And tries to provoke and get this or the re-dramatization. You'll never, ever see a re-dramatization of something that is like a closed door and footsteps and that's it. Never, because it's boring. Nobody wants to see it. Nobody wants to watch, so they won't put it on. Even though that's probably 80% of all paranormal cases. You guys know as well as I do, the shows the re-dramatizations that you see online, we have never encountered. We've gotten some claims that makes us think that maybe we do, but it never turns out that way. Yeah. And so I mean, what people see on TV and what the reality of everything is completely different. And I hate the fact that the general public doesn't understand that. And, I have been turned down for places, not residentials, not for that, but like historical locations, because they feared that we were going to act like Ghost Adventures, because that's what they believed everyone did. And I can't stand it. I hate it. And the only thing that we can do is continue to move forward and do us and help the people and try and hope that we can get rid of that reputation as, a little bit at a time.
Yep. Pretty much.
Sorry, I forgot to be vague.
No, that was one of my points that I had written down as well, Mike. So I think it all kind of fits under this umbrella of just dealing with other people in the field with like there's so many locations I would love to do that we might just never be able to do because of this stigma that has been created that we're going to go around and scream and not necessarily trash the place, but be unprofessional when that's not the case at all. It's unbelievably frustrating. So, yeah.
Scott, you were about to say something.
Well, in addition to the belief that all orbs are something significant, or that are actually dust or whatever. I actually had somebody unfriend me because I said that to them. That he was saying every orb you see is a disembodied spirit. No, it's not. And he was saying about how he thought that he could handle using a Ouija board because he knew how to do it. That's not a good idea, and he unfriended me for that.
I know who you're talking about because he unfriended me too because he went and tried to talk to me about it, and I was like, no.
Yeah.
And I know who you're talking about as well, but I was never his friend, so I don't have to care.
Yeah. So, and then and also those who the entertainers that I can't stand, the paranormal entertainers who aren't really paranormal investigators; they're just entertainers, who try to make people believe that everything that happens, every place they go, is a demon. No, that's a pet
peeve.
A pet peeve for our entire team is about the people who are trying to say that every place they go there's a demon involved, and there isn't. It's ridiculous. And
yeah, just go on a Reddit thread of somebody sharing their paranormal experience, and at least 10 people will be like, "Get some sage, smudge your house. It could be a demon." It's like, oh my fucking god. This is really the layman's perception of what, like, I don't know. It's frustrating.
I love telling this story, and I'm sure you guys have heard it before, and you're going to hear it again. But back when Dave and I were still with ParaX, the ParaX Radio Network, one of the owners of it, Rebecca, posted a photo of her German Shepherd sitting behind a screen door, and she just took a photo of it. She didn't say anything. She just posted, goes, "I just want to see what you guys think." I think the first 7 of 8 comments or whatever were talking about it being a demon. And she's like, "Guys, this is my dog. There's nothing paranormal going on here." But that is the belief that we have been led to do. And I would bet that I would be able to find some random photo on Google Images or whatever of a dog that's behind a screen or whatever, and post that on Reddit. And yeah, I would probably say 75 to 80% of the comments are going to be, "I see horns, I see razor sharp teeth. It's obviously a demon." No, it's not. I mean, we have gotten so good at not using common sense and to actually think about things. We just want to believe so much that it's evil or a demon or something. I don't know why. But I don't know if people find it exhilarating or what. Or they know that they're safe because it's not them. It baffles me to this day, and I will probably never get an answer as to why this is. But I 100% agree that, especially with your friend, and that kind of goes with one of the things that I wrote down as well, and that's ego. Ego's pride in the paranormal is unreal. Whether it's celebrity, whether it's just basic investigator, here at the local level, it's all over the place. And that's one of the reasons why nobody likes to be told that they're wrong. And I honestly don't care. I would rather be told I'm wrong than to throw out evidence that, that could be wrong. I would rather somebody told me. And, we just had that incident with the choir clip.
Yeah, I was just going to say, we've literally had an expert tell us that a piece of evidence we received from somebody else was faked. And we're like, oh, okay, we're never going to show that again.
Yeah. We didn't get mad. I've actually sent her another clip that wasn't sent, but it's one of those things like, I would like to have it confirmed just to be on the safe side. Why not? And if that's wrong, if we're misinterpreting it, that goes out the door.
Yeah, exactly.
I would rather be told I'm wrong than somebody to save my feelings and just to be like, yeah, I don't know what that is. Good luck in the future to you. That's just me. And I've tried to told, holy mother, sorry. I have tried to tell friends who show me their evidence. I'm like, I think it's this or that or whatever. And they will not have. They're like, what about that? No, you weren't there. This has to be. Okay, I gave you my opinion.
Yeah, then don't ask for my opinion if you don't want my opinion, right?
Well, that's just it. They don't want your opinion. They want your confirmation.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like, you have to start asking, like, do you want me to just validate you, or do you want my actual opinion on this?
And you know what? There's nothing wrong with that question.
No, there really isn't. Like, if you're looking for validation, you're probably not going to get it from me. So just don't send it to me.
But there are people out there who like us are just, oh, you think that this is something else? All right, maybe you're right. Like, they're not angry at you, and they do want your opinion, and that's why they sent it to you. It's just figuring out which one you're dealing with. But that's just the people at the local level. I mean, then you take on the just the ego and the superiority complex that some of these celebs now have. And I mean, I won't use names. If people know who I'm talking about, good for you. But I mean, one of the celebs, I put them all in quotes now because I don't consider them celebs. If anything, they're colleagues. They're in the same field as me. The only difference is they're on TV and make more money than I do. Well, I actually probably make more money than they do now. But anyway, that's the only difference. They're not better than me. They're not better than us. In fact, I would probably put our team above even Taps. They may have more experience and a bigger budget, but when it comes to helping people, we do a lot more than here's some evidence, call us if you need us, and leave. But one of them tweeted out that what they do is professional. What everybody else does is amateur. Naturally, they got a shitstorm for that, and they should. But that's wrong. I mean, if I guess the only difference is that they got paid money to do it and we haven't, fine, whatever.
Yeah, I don't think that makes you better for taking money for doing something that people are willing to do on their own time for free. That's really not saying something about you. You're just kind of exploiting it at that point.
I think helping people shouldn't come at a cost. Just help somebody out just because you can and you want to.
Because it's the right thing to do.
Anybody else have anything to add to that?
Not necessarily to that, but maybe adjacent.
Jason's fine.
Um, oh, I agree with you, Mike, when you were talking about that. It's one of the good things is that everybody in this field is equal. Doesn't matter what your background or credentials or whatever, you're equal to everybody else, and do great things in this field. You know, the flip side of that coin, though, is too many people who are doing investigations and things get their training by watching poltergeist movies at the movie theater, and they think that that's what reality is, and they've got these crazy ideas about what it is they're going out to look for, and try, and that's why they see demons everywhere they go. It's because they watch the movies, and they see it in the movies, and they think that that's reality. And they're not in touch with the real world.
Sorry to interrupt, Scott.
That's okay.
My theory on why everything is a demon is because I know we've all said this before, but people fear what they don't know. And paranormal is definitely something that people categorize as they don't know, they don't understand. So they put a bad stigma on it, so everything they don't understand is bad.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people think that paranormal is the same thing as supernatural, and it's not the same thing.
Like the TV show?
No.
Well, I mean,
honest question.
That's okay.
And honestly, that's a good question to ask, because I mean, way back before any of you guys joined, I had a medium on my team named Ricky, and very well versed in like witchcraft and all this stuff. She didn't use it, but she knew all about it. And we were watching an episode of Supernatural where they were doing something, hocus pocusy, and I asked her, I was like, how real is, how close do they get to the truth? And she actually got this she's like, they're scary close. Like they had to do a lot of actual research on what is going down, and they put that into the show. So it's not far off. Obviously, I think they create monsters and they create these gods and stuff like that, and what's going on, but how they get rid of them, the methods that they use, the kind of the backward research and stuff that they use are all legit, like research that they've done. They've skewed it just a little bit to make it more TV friendly. So it is, Cameron, that is a legitimate question on whether he's talking about the supernatural as the paranormal field topic or Supernatural, the show. Yeah, anyway. That's all I got there.
Interesting.
Yeah, well, anyway. But I do agree with you, Scott, wholeheartedly. But stuff we have to deal with right now. I mean, to be honest, the one thing we can't take away from TV shows and what they've done is they have thrown the paranormal into mainstream. Like they've made it in a sense okay to talk about. To do these shows and not be called, witches or, that we're trying to, corrupt the children into being satanic worshipers. I mean, they have done that, but I think they did it, one, accidentally, and two, in kind of the wrong context. I really wish there was a show that would show literally just how it is. And if you get the right people and you have the right locations that don't necessarily are evil or whatnot, you can make a really good show. And I think people would respect that just as much as they respect ghost hunters. The only problem with ghost hunters, honestly, is the fact that one, their evidence sucks always, and two, they don't ever show helping anybody. It's always, here's the evidence, call us if you need us. There's nothing bad here. And they leave. And so, I mean, everything can be a little bit better, but at least there's that counterbalance to it. Okay, does anybody else want to throw out anything bad?
I had evidence review written down. Because it's a necessary evil, but it kind of objectively kind of sucks. It is not very fun unless you're like, unless you know you're reviewing like a particularly like intense session, personal experience wise, you're just kind of glued to it and like hanging on every word. But most of the time you're drooling on yourself because you're fucking literally watching paint dry, basically, especially if you're watching DVR. It can be a fucking nightmare, especially on a long investigation. Yeah, it's bad.
Sam, I really have to say, your screen went down, but your potty mouth has gone up. like now you're hiding behind that blank screen, and now you're just throwing the F-bombs out like crazy.
Oh, I didn't even notice. I think it's because my new boss is also a potty mouth, so like I just never have to act professional anymore. Like just never. But yeah, I apologize for the language.
That's right. I just found it funny because it was.
But also, I hate evidence review like a lot.
You know, right. Oddly enough, I don't mind it.
Oh, Cameron can do all my evidence.
I don't want to do all your evidence.
No.
But like,
Cameron is just going to get all of our DVR from now on.
Yeah, Cameron and Scott get all the DVR.
Let's not go overboard.
Just because I don't mind it doesn't mean all of it's fun. I didn't say it was fun.
No, and honestly, that's one of the reasons why I kind of like to throw in a joke every now and again, or some funny ass question, because I mean, at least it livens things up, even in a review. When we were all here reviewing like those 3 cases all at once. I mean, Sam, you were asking me why I was laughing so much. And
you do like laughing at yourself.
Somebody's got to, but it was a part of the investigation or whatever, that something was going on, and there was some dialogue to listen to. So I mean, when you can actually get into a session, it's almost just like listening to a podcast. It's just those static recorders where you get like that hour of just nothing.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It is I will agree. It is a necessary evil. It's what we signed up for, unfortunately, and it has to be done. But as well as I do that the second you get like that Class A EVP, or you see something in the FLIR or the DVR, the heat, it makes it all worth it.
Yeah.
So I mean that could be kind of the good and the bad. It sucks to do evidence review, but it's really good when you get that evidence.
Yeah.
Perfect. The only thing that I really put in here, and I probably shouldn't, for the bad, and I get why they do it, but clients are their own worst enemy. Always. They never tell you the whole truth. They never tell you what you need to know, and they always just want you to come in and not even do an investigation, just get rid of it. I don't care what it is, get rid of it. And it's like, no, that's not what we do. I have literally never had a client after the investigation and after the review with them or the reveal with them still have that mentality. typically by the end, they understand what is going on, and that's all they really wanted. And I've actually had clients be like, we want this out of here. We did the investigation. We did the reveal. And like, oh yeah, they belong here. They're all right. I don't care, because they were being left alone. I mean, just dealing with clients and trying to figure out what is going on based on their claims is terrible.
Yeah.
And I mean, and if you could get a client, honestly, you could just a client that just would tell you the whole truth and not try to hide stuff from you or what. And I'm not talking about clients who have something that they just didn't think was important. I get that. But, you know, we recently had a client that had a whole ring of things that were going on, told us all about it. We did the investigation, we did a cleansing, and then she started talking about how it wasn't this, it was witchcraft the entire time. When did this come in? Where was this, you know, back when we first started this deal? Because if we would have known that, it would have completely changed everything that we did. And I just think it's very, very important as a client, if you're going to reach out to any paranormal, not just us, any paranormal team, you need to be honest. Just tell them what's going on. I don't care how crazy it is. That's what we're there to help you with it. You know, sometimes it's just a misidentification. You know, people who think that every black mass is a demon. Well, it's not. It's just a partial apparition. It doesn't mean anything is evil. But we need to know that so that we can help you with it. So clients are one of the things that I wrote down that I
very true.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I love clients. I love having them. I love helping them. That's what we're here to do. It's just, I just need them to be more open. I hate how closed off they are and how unwilling they are to tell you what is going on. Anybody else have anything more to add?
Mm-hmm.
Something else they don't like? Something else they do like? Maybe something came up. Lauren, you really haven't given a single thing.
Everybody's been having a really good conversation. It's been really cool to listen to. I have one thing to add to the not my favorite section of this episode. And I believe, Mike, it's a question / a conversation that you have with every single one of us before we like come on an investigation is you understand that there is a personal risk factor to what we do. Granted, like most of the stuff that we come in contact with is not inherently evil. Most of it's just misunderstood. Somebody doesn't know how to communicate, or somebody's just pissed off. As like humans we get pissed off. Spirits can get pissed off as well. But there is that one section that if you do come into contact with something that is inherently evil or out to hurt you, it puts us in danger. As investigators, it can put our families and our social circles and whoever that we're close with in danger, because it, you know, if a demon or an elemental or whatever you have that is really like a deep, dark entity comes in contact with you and decides to look directly at you, that's when shit can go wrong. And that is a conversation that we have all had before we join this team. We understand the risks that happen or that come with what we do. That is a part that I don't like. I'm sure it's a part that all of us could get away with. Like, if this wasn't involved in this field, I wouldn't be mad.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, it's part of what we do, because as rare as it can be, there are things that can target you and are set to cause damage to your life, which is a really unfortunate thing. But that is, again, like what we are here to help people through, is if they do have something like that and they need help, if we can't help them, we could give them somebody that can help. Like, we can connect them with the help that they need. So it's something that we need to understand that we are dealing with. It is something that we have to understand the personal risks that it's a thing in this field, which sucks. I wish it wasn't, but it is, because there's evil in this world. It's just how it is.
This is why I have rules when we investigate too.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's exactly why we have rules. and exactly why we phrase things and do things the way that we do, because we try to minimize that risk as much as possible. And just to a small little follow-up on that, not only the risk to us, but our clients as well. And so, I mean, how many people, not us, because as far as I'm aware, it's never happened. Thank goodness. I mean, that's just another thing that I love the fact about this team is this has not happened as far as I know. And that is the teams that go in there, they rile everything up, they get scared and they run out, or they finish their investigation after doing their thing and they leave. And then the homeowners have to come in and then they have to deal with the aftermath, which is the exact opposite of why we're called in there to begin with. And so, I mean, it's not only a risk to us. What the hell is the matter with me? I don't know.
What the fuck?
Mikey can't talk good tonight. But anyway, I'm just going to talk slower and more precise. So anyways, I lost my train of thought. Whatever. You know what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
It's not only a risk to us, it's also a risk to them.
There you go. Well said.
Finally.
Yeah.
It just took me 2 or 3 tries. That's all right. We all have our off days. Anyways, so anyway, the good and the bad. Does anybody else have anything that they want to add before we head out?
Nah.
No? All right. Good conversation, guys. Liked it.
Me too.
So, yeah, we'll be back next week with another new episode. We hope you will tune in then. And yeah, everybody have a good evening. Stay healthy. Stay safe. Especially now that apparently there's like 2 pandemics coming out. What did I do? All I see is you guys laughing at me.
You didn't. I think Sam burped.
Sam.
It wasn't you, Mike.
All right. Thank you. All right. Anyway, we're done. Have a good night.